I thought I'd put together a really quick tutorial video on creating your own assets using the asset browser, turning those assets into buttons, and then saving that layout for use over and over again so that your buttons that you just created don't disappear. So the best example of a button to create that will save you time in your workflow is if you're taking one of the 3D courses at our college, then you are um, usually using the volume modeling setup when you're just barely learning at the beginning. And so you'll be familiar with the volume modeling setup and that you have to make the volume builder, then the volume mesher, and then you got to look for the remesh wherever it's at, and here it is. And then you got to make this a child of that, and this a child of that. And every time you want to make another volume model, then you have to make this setup again and again. So in order to save yourself some time, you can make this with the click of one button instead of having to look for them all over the place. So before turning this into an asset, an important thing to do is to uncheck these little green checkboxes next to the volume mesher and the remesh. Do not use these little circles here. These little circles are the visibility circles. They are not the enable disable buttons. So we want to disable the mesher and the remesh so that they're not calculating before we're ready for them to begin calculating. So now that we've done that, I'm going to go ahead and close this up. We got to come over to our asset browser and we are going to create a category, or we can just throw it into emptiness. So if I just drag this in here into this empty space here, it'll just say uncategorized, and I'll call it, volume setup, then hit OK. And so that'll just be in something called uncategorized. But to save yourself some time in finding it, remembering where you put it, you can create a category, and I'll go ahead and move this category to the quick access. And then I will name the category like my assets, then hit OK. And now I can move this uncategorized volume setup into my assets, and it'll be in there. And I don't need this uncategorized one anymore. Or I guess I'll just leave it there for now. But okay, so I've got my assets. And so now from here, you don't necessarily have to create a button. If I want to be able to create that remesh over and over again, I can just do Shift C, which is our commander, and I can type in volume setup. And then from there, I can create that over and over again using that. Or if you want to have it as a button here and not have to type everything out every single time, what we can do is I'm going to press and hold on the volume builder tool menu here. And then this little bar at the top here, if I click on it, will give me a little pop out of the menu. And then I want to use the commander there again to find the things I want to add to this. So I'm going to go ahead and drag this volume setup to the very tippy top so that when C4D starts up, this is going to be the button that's right on top. And then I also want to add a remesh on top of that to the bottom right under the volume mesher. So that way if I need to make this stuff separately, I can have it all in the same little menu. So now that I've got that, I want to turn this into a little button like this. So I have to right click, fold palette, and then right click again and go to let's see, show. And then right now it's showing both the icons and the text, so I want to turn off the text. So now that it's off, you would think, okay, well now I can try and drag it to here, but it won't drag there. If I use this, it's not going to dock where I want it either. So in order to get it to dock in the location I want it to dock in, I need to right click and say customize palettes. Once I've done that, it opens the command manager with edit palettes turned on. And so now I can edit all these palettes here, and you can see that it visibly looks different than I did previously. So I'm just going to click this and drag it to right here in between the subdivision surface generator menu. And I'm going to try and get rid of this one. So the way to get rid of an icon or a button from your menu is by double clicking. So if I double click, it goes away. So now I have that. I can go ahead and close that out and close that out, and so now it's saved there, and I can click it as many times as I want to create that same setup. But now if I were to hit any one of these other modes, it would reset this, and that button would go away and we'd go back to what we had before. So in order to save this layout, I need to come to Window, Customization, and I can do Save as Startup Layout or Save Layout As. Save Layout As would save it as one of these over here. Just it'll go somewhere else with whatever name you name it. Or you can do a Save as Startup Layout and it will always be there on startup. So once you've clicked that, you'll end up having something that looks like this, which is just however you set up your layout with the button right there. And it'll, as soon as you start up C4D, it'll start here. I'm going to go ahead and include a C4D file that already has the remesh, volume builder, and volume mesher all kind of set up the way that they should be for this. And all you'd have to do is just open the file and drag that into your asset browser, and you'd be already set and done for the first half of this. But if you do want to turn it into your own button, then you can just continue watching the video and follow along from there. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day. Bye.